So I want you to pause for just a moment. Take a look at your life. Take a look at your goals, the things that you want to achieve, things that you may be chasing. Look at the stress that you may be actually feeling when you think about trying to achieve these particular goals. We're normally taught that if we want to change our reality, for example, that we have to force it. We're told to grind and to hustle, and we push against the world until it bends to our will, which is very stressful. But have we ever noticed that the harder that we push, the more resistance that we feel? Why does hustling keep you stuck? It's because when you're forcing things to happen, you are subconsciously affirming to yourself that you already don't have these things. What if I told you that we have all this backwards? You've been taught this incorrectly. What if I told you that resistance causes more resistance? You do not act to become the person you want to be. You must be that person first. The action will follow naturally. You don't have to tell a king, for example, that he's royal or to act, stately or royally. He just does because he knows he's a king. So today what we're going to do is we're going to begin to talk about crafting your reality, but from the inside out. We're not going to talk about working harder. This is not about hustling. We're going to talk about how to rewire that part of your brain, that patterns that keep you stuck, because our recent theming has been talking about, reconstructing your self-concept. And that's what we're going to continue to talk about today. We're going to stop forcing. We're going to start being. So welcome into the podcast, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. My name is Kelly. I'm your host. It is always my pleasure to welcome you into ReThink Podcast. I know based on all the downloads and the notes and the different things that I get, interaction with you guys online, that you're enjoying the content. I really am humbled by that. Thank you guys so much for supporting the podcast. Today we're going to kick off a 30-day sort of what do we call this? A 30-day effort, in that we're going to really focus now on you. We're going to really focus on your self-concept. I feel like this is so critical to our success, and we overlook it. We want to get to the other things. When you're going to look for a car, maybe you're looking at the exterior. Most people start with the exterior because they like the way a car looks. And then there's the interior. What sort of bells and whistles do they have? So few people, believe it or not, actually lift up the hood and take a look at the engine. Well, number one, they're not mechanics. But number two, I would think you want to know what sort of engine runs this car, because the exterior doesn't matter. The interior doesn't matter if the car isn't actually running. And that's what I'm talking about with you today. We got to look up under the hood. Most of us running on old programming. Most of us are running on old programming. We need to update our software. Updating our software includes understanding, who do we now in 2026 truly believe that we are? What is our self-belief? What is our self-concept? Who do we believe ourselves to be? Why is that important? Because this is the root from which the tree grows. All of the branches, all of the leaves, everything is coming from this root. And you're not going to get further than you believe yourself to be, or you're not going to get any further than you think you can go. So if you feel like you're being stuck or you're stuck, then I would suggest let's take a look at your self-concept and let's reconstruct it. All right? Maybe you want to start a new business, or you want to start a new habit, or you want to do a healthier lifestyle. What you're going to realize at a certain point is it begins to wane away. Have you ever had an idea? Have you ever felt like, hey, I want to do this, or I want to do that. I want to play golf, or I want to, start crafting, or whatever the thing is. I want to be in a whole different industry. You initially start off and you have a lot of momentum around it, but eventually it plateaus, and then it just kind of fades off. It goes away. And if you're not careful, you get to a certain age, you see that becomes a pattern. It becomes a pattern because other things have done the same thing. You tend to have good ideas. You tend to feel really good about them. And then after a while, it just sort of wanes away until you have another really good idea. You feel really good about that. And then also it wanes away. Why does it wane away? Why does it just sort of decrease in momentum after a while? The struggle may feel like self-sabotage, but really it's about your self-concept. Because innately and within yourself, you believe yourself to be capable of certain things. And perhaps that thing that you feel really good about, that you want to chase, that you want to do, is not one of the things that is built into your current programming. So your subconscious takes over, your ego and your brain all get together and say, oh, this feels unsafe. This feels unproven. We've never done this before. This goes away. This goes away. Most of us, I would say most of us, which would include all of us really, we're bound by past conditioning until we know otherwise. These influences create a set of boundaries in our minds. They create a script that says, I must do this, or I'm a person that does that. When you live in a state of compulsion, you are reacting to an old program. Your self-concept is what we're looking at. If your subconscious mind identifies you as, I am someone who never finishes what I start, for example, then no amount of planning, and work increase, none of that is going to help. No amount of planning will work long term. Your brain always looks for ways to prove you right in your underlying belief, in your underlying identity of yourself. This is why hustling doesn't work. And also, even if it does work for a little while, it doesn't feel great because you don't want to do it. You want to innately be able to create for yourself the life that you want. And hustle is not a part of that. You cannot outwork your own self-concept. You can't do it. You must change the tape. You must put in a different program. So if you believe that you're not good enough, then your actions eventually are going to prove that to be right. No matter how hard you try to force it. This is what you feel when you're starting to feel stuck. But there is a way to reprogram and to rewire your brain. We don't do it by fighting or resisting. We do it through intense awareness, through being mindful and meditating, and identity shifting. I want to give you 3 ways that we can rewire and reprogram ourselves into that particular self-concept that fits who you are now and who you believe yourself to be now. The first thing you can do is observation, intense observation. Stop identifying yourself and stop identifying yourself with negative thoughts. Stop identifying with the negative thoughts you have and stop identifying yourself with them. See them as separate. Just simply start observing them. So when a thought comes to you, like, I'm never going to lose the weight, I can't seem to ever get this done, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough, I can't make enough. Don't try to fight it. Don't try to fight the thoughts. Just accept that they are there and just look at them and say to yourself, I am observing a thought about failure. I am observing a thought about failure. So when you watch your thoughts without judgment, you break the cycle. You stop being the computer running the virus and you become the programmer. So you can identify where the errors are. You can identify where the problem is. So when those thoughts come up, don't engage with them. Don't fight them. Just observe them. That's the first step. Number 2 is, let's now begin to shift our identity. Shift your identity. This really, in my estimation, is the most critical part of this process. Because what you believe about yourself ultimately matters the most. Second is how you feel about yourself. What do you believe about yourself? You must realize now that you're already the person you want to be. There's no action that needs to be taken because the actions come afterwards. We tend to believe that we must do things to be. No, you must be, and then the doing will come. Identity shifting rather is about assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is our friend Neville Goddard. Let's go to the end. Let's go to where we want to be. Let's go all the way to the goal. Let's go all the way to the accomplishment. Let's already now be that person we desire to be. What does that feel like? What does it feel like when you're now the person that you want to be? And once you realize that, then the actions will come. My example earlier was about a king. It is the proverbial story in the Bible where it talks about a young man who was at a pig pen and realized that his father was royalty. He's a prince. Why, if he's a prince, should he eat from a pig pen? When he came to himself, this is what the sutras say, when he came to himself, meaning when he really realized who he was, when he identified with his self-concept, he said, wait, I don't have to do this. I don't have to do this. I'm royalty. But you got to realize who you are, and you've got to have that strong self-concept. So identity shifting is about assuming this feeling of the wish being fulfilled before any physical result shows up. Give your high self a name. What would you do in a certain situation? Start showing up as that person today. When you change your identity to I am someone who lives in a peaceful, abundant lifestyle, for example, the habits to support this just come naturally. When you change your identity to I am someone who is dependable, then the habits just come naturally. The results come naturally. I am, a wealthy entrepreneur. I am a successful business owner. I am a married woman, whatever the thing is that you want, show up as that person today. And as a result of being that person, the actions then come. You aren't facing them. You're just being who you actually are. And believing this will reprogram your subconscious mind and your actions will come. Now, step 3, reframe the narrative. And this is the part that is, all this is important, but we've got to do all these things for it to work. Your brain believes what you tell it. Your brain is a massive problem-solving machine, but it will believe what you tell it. And you need to break free from negative self-talk. So what are you telling it? That's the question. What are you saying about you to yourself? If you are engaged, hear me good, in negative self-talk consistently and constantly, then you cannot assume that any good is going to come from that because you are self-sabotaging. You must be your biggest cheerleader. You must choose to support you. Instead of saying things like I'm struggling, you must say I'm learning, I'm adapting, I'm getting better. Always reframe whatever that is negative that comes into your sphere, reframe it into a positive light. I don't care what it is. Always choose half full. Always choose optimism. Because whether or not your reality today reflects to you the things that you want, this is based on old thoughts. Old thoughts got you to where you are today. Your children of tomorrow will come from your thoughts of today. So what do you want to see tomorrow? Forget about what you're seeing today. That's a done deal. You can't change that. But you can change tomorrow. You can affect tomorrow. So you must choose optimism. If you want a best case scenario, then stop using the worst case scenario. Be optimistic. You'll find that you won't need to force yourself to take action when you are who you already want to be. Action becomes a natural byproduct of this new identity that you created for yourself. Remember, this process is about consistency. No one has to be perfect. Every time you fall off track, it's a matter of reassessing and just getting back on. If it's just an opportunity to gently practice resilience and observe your thoughts again, then just do that. You're moving from a state of trying to become to a state of knowing who you are. Stop trying, start being. This is Buddha. Stop trying, start being. And in that state of knowing, there's a certain expectation. There's a law of assumption. We've got to do a podcast on that. This is very powerful in understanding and knowing that you are this particular individual, this particular version of yourself. There's deep peace here. There's immense clarity here. And there's a lasting transformation. And the cool thing is that once you see evidence that this process works, you gain a level of confidence, an unshakable level of confidence, knowing that you are the creator of this thing. You are made and shaped and birthed in the image and the likeness of all there is. So, of course, you are a creator. One of the things that we've done here at the podcast is we put together a reference guide for you. And if you want to take a look at it, I think this fits deeply into what it is that you want to do if you resonate with this content. It's called 30 Days to a New Self-Concept. And we've got all the information into the, description or into the notes or whatever platform you listen to us on. But I want you to take a look at it. It's on our website. And it is 30 Days to Constructing a New Self-Concept. And I think it's probably one of the most impactful pieces of information we've put together and put out, because your self-concept is so important to who you are and making any upgrades or changes in your life. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to listen to the podcast over again. I do appreciate you hanging out with me today. I want you to listen to the podcast over again. And I want you to go check out the 30 Days to Reconstructing Your Self-Concept, which is on our website. Take a look at it. I think there's maybe even a free period that you can look at a few things there. But it's a e-document that you can download, but it leads you through 30 days of reconstructing your self-concept. If you feel stuck, if you feel like you have this cyclical behavior of being motivated and then not motivated, excited about a project and then, just doesn't manifest at all, this is where the issue lies, is in reconstructing your self-concept. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today here at ReThink Podcast. Come back and check me out on tomorrow. We'll be back again with another great podcast. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one.